about bullying and how to handle it. I would like to say thank you to the partnership committee. I'd like to introduce them to you for doing all of bringing this Students Against Bullying showcase together tonight. I'd like to, I thought I saw her. All of the ladies and linkages, would you please stand, please? Thank you. And our principal, Ms. Boucher.
And motivational speaker and teacher in this area. He's been named the Instructor of the Year by the Educational Funding Corporation. He's the founder and national spokesperson for the Stronger Than Drugs Foundation. He's a regional representative of the U.S. Shout Chow Association and the Federation of the United Martial Artists Crusade Against Crime. He's going to share with you how to take a negative and turn it into a positive. At this time, let's give him a warm welcome to Mr. Willie the Bam Johnson.
Can you hear me without the mic? Yeah. I teach karate, so we used to talk real loud. And I'm not going to stand back here because I just like to get to know people. Yes, I do run a martial arts school, and that's my daughter right there. You can give her a welcome. I know I'm here to talk to you about how to, I call it flip the script. And I know I'm here to help you, but most importantly, I'm here to help my daughter. I have a little thing that I do when I go around and talk. Ever since I created this program called Strong and Drug Hack, and everything I'm talking about more than anybody else. We talk about all the things. I've been to China, I won world championships, had TV shows. I have a movie company. I have a son right now who's one of the world champions, been all over the world competing. My daughter does martial arts now. We have a student, he's probably one of our most famous students, played in a movie called Spy Kids, and he was also on MTV Punks. And he also had another TV show on Fox Kids. And it's just amazing because I think the other side of my life is that anything that can happen to a little kid coming up in the city of Baltimore has happened to me. I got into martial arts not so I can learn how to fight. I got into martial arts just because I wanted to be an inspiration for so many kids that looked like they were lost in my neighborhood. And all they seen was all these negative things. But I used to get beat up and chased home from school all the time. I remember people used to take my shoes and I would never fight back. But I still kept practicing martial arts, but I would never fight back. Believe it or not, it was my sister who used to beat me up every day. Because my sister used to beat the living daylights out of me and make me and force me to go back out there and fight back. Fighting back, I took that negative. I think you can turn it, you can take a negative and you turn it to something positive. But I took that negative and then I became a bully to other people in the neighborhood. I started selling drugs. I started getting in trouble. I got locked up. Even on the back of my shirt, you see this guy. School in Rockford, I had one in Laurel, had been open for 11 years, and every parent that comes in there knows everything that happened to me. So I like that on my wall, everywhere where I go, is just a reminder of where I came from. And other people, I mean, you name it, I just did to people. I mean, it's just, I'm lucky that I'm here right now today. And I think the one thing that really woke me up and realized that I had a gift and I really had to help people was when my mother died in my arms. And if you see my son right now, he will just blow your mind. I mean, he just, and I won't tell him that because he might get big-headed, but he's one of the greatest martial artists right now in the world. I mean, he will just blow your mind what he can do. He's been doing martial arts since he was a little kid. Since he was born, he was put on this earth. And you see him, he will just blow your mind. And when that happened to me, I was just really lost. Here's a kid who was gifted in martial arts, had everything, most talented martial artist, won world championships. I went to China when I was 17 years old. Got certified mainland China as one of the best martial artists in the United States. So I just believe that God took everything away from me so I could follow my face. And then I ended up living on the street. I ended up doing anything that you can possibly think of. And the greatest thing that ever happened to me was being incarcerated. For me, that was the greatest thing that ever happened. Any little kid, they can tell me how tough they are. There's no little kid that can tell me that. When you talk to me, you got to use sir, ma'am, and thank you, sir, and thank you, ma'am. And who did that come from? That come from martial arts. That come from my mommy and my daddy and my grandparents. You know, so when I teach martial arts, I didn't give it to the martial arts help develop the discipline and the confidence, but the foundation and character got to come from the household. It got to come from the home. That's why my daughter's here with me right now. You know, because once that experience happened to me when I was incarcerated, and if anybody know you claustrophobic, so when you get in a small space, you just like panic. I thought I would hang myself. It was just really, but I made it out of that. And when drug dealers, you have low self-esteem, you go around picking on people. You start trying to make people feel less than. And it's not just in school. It's in corporate America. It's everywhere. You got bullies wherever you go. There's bullies in the family. But once you understand that if you feel good about yourself, and you have a basic set of principles, and I just live by, I can just mention 4 of them. One is honesty. The second one is having an open mind so you can listen to what people say. And the third one is having faith in something bigger and better than any human being that you can ever run into. And once you have those 3 things, I guarantee whatever goes on in your life, I guarantee you, whatever goes on in your life, you can flip it around and make it better. I'm a living example of that. So, you know, when my mom passed away in my arms, I supposed to went to New York City to be on the front cover of one of the biggest karate magazines in the world. And lucky it sounds crazy, lucky I was doing something bad, because if I wouldn't have been doing something bad, I wouldn't have been there for my mom. That sounds crazy to most people, but because that happened, I was there for her to tell me one thing. And she used to say, she said, be good. And the rest of my life, everything I do today, the reason why I do that for my kids, the reason why I do this for other kids, because my mom was like one of the greatest people you could imagine in the world. She could take a house and take a little pot of food and feed the whole neighborhood. That's how great she was. And she loved anybody. I don't care. And that's how I run my martial arts school. You say, when do you give up on a person? Right now, I always tell people, a lot of people invite me to come and talk, and I go and I see people, they, you know, little kids, they ask me for autographs. I mean, it's just all this stuff, but guess what? I say, you know what? But most people wouldn't deal with me if they didn't see me when I was living on the street. And because I remember that, see, people wonder, I will never give up on anybody. See, because that person that you give up on, it's like running a marathon. When are you about ready to quit? When you've already hit the finish line. That's when most people quit in anything in life about success. When you drop out of school, or when you're about ready to graduate. It's just when it's about ready to happen that the pressure comes down hard, and that's when you just give up. So who am I to turn my back on somebody else when God didn't turn his back on me? So when you look around and you see these blessings, you see these little kids. I mean, in this martial arts school, I mean, I just see these little kids, and they come in with no talent. I got my little daughter right here who had one of the most tragic things that happened to her 3 years ago. Never would take martial arts with me. And when that thing happened, and I never thought I would be right there, oh man, it's a blessing what you see. She runs one of my martial arts schools. She sits there in the office and knows how to talk and sign people up and do all that stuff. So, and I you know, as I end, I like to remember this, and I tell my son this all the time. If it wasn't for you, and if it wasn't for my daughter, if it wasn't for all these other little kids who think they could just, you know, one who think that they know more than their parents, they want to disrespect their parents, or any adults think that because they have all the answers, they can't get a message from a little kid or a teenager, because it's both. What I like to remember is that the truth of the matter is, if I could do all the bad things and not go to jail and end up dead, I would do them right now, because it's easier. But because I have to be good, and I've been doing martial arts since I was 6 years old, and I'm 41 years old. And you cannot imagine how many times I get mad and I want to probably hit somebody. But the greatest warrior is the one who can walk away in peace and never have to use his hands or his feet. And most importantly, they can walk away with a smile and come back and uplift the other person and make them better. So the person that you got to help is your enemy. It's easy to help the people that like you. It's harder to help the people that just don't like you and don't want to give up. And in our school, we make people do a 15-page thesis when they go through their black belt test. And it's a 6-month black belt test. You got to do 1,000 kicks, 1,000 punches every day. You can't eat after 9 o'clock. You got to read probably like 20 or 30 books, and you got to do a 15-page book report. They got to be on the positives and the negatives. Why you don't like me? I want to know. But then give me solutions, because everybody can talk about why the world is bad. Other people can talk about how to change the world. So the reason why I believe God allowed me to go through what I went through and to come in and even talk. And this is not really for you. I hate to say it. It's really for me. Because every time I say this, it reminds me where I came from. So it forces me to work even harder the next day to be a bigger example for other people and other kids. Because right now, as we sit here, there's a little kid right there in another neighborhood that's sitting right there and wishing that he could have something to eat. Or there's some other little kid just being beat up. Or there's some parent wishing that she could help her kid or be an example. So we're blessed because of how bad things may get. We're blessed. And God gives us challenges so we can turn it around. That's the reason why you get challenges. And that's why this shirt is called, it's another company, it's called Urban Spirit. And when we talk about urban spirit don't mean dressing like you a thug or wanting to be tough and wanting to be a drug dealer and wanting to be a rap star. It's about taking a spirit of struggle and putting it in something positive so you can skyrocket to do whatever you want to do. So even half of the kids who watch MTV who got it, they got it totally backwards. It's not about being a thug. It's not about having a big Hummer or all this stuff. It's about taking a spirit that don't just come from this lifestyle. It comes back since ancient times. That you just take it and you use it to be the best that you can possibly be. And I guarantee you, if you remember those two principles, honesty with yourself, open-mindedness with yourself, and then having faith in something bigger and powerful than you, and take everything that's bad and see the positive in it, I guarantee you, you're going to reach every goal that you want to reach in life. As long as you leave the results up to God, you're going to be okay. So when you start thinking about the results, that's when you're going to have a problem. So that's what my life is about. It's about just being truthful. What I say here to you today is how I live my life. 4 o'clock in the morning, I wake up, and I'm gone till 9 o'clock at night. And all I do is just teach martial arts and go around the country and work with people. One of my biggest dreams was to meet Bruce Lee when I was living in the ghetto. And my first TV show that I started doing, playing myself, was with Bruce Lee's daughter. So you're going to tell me there ain't a God? Yeah, there is a God. Even when I was incarcerated, I wrote a book. This book can save so many. You cannot imagine how many emails or phone calls I get from little kids wanting to commit suicide. They say, I read your book. It just changed my life. There's something there about bullying. I forgot all about that. Because I like to tell people, everything that I talk about, even this book, I'm not intelligent enough to write it. So it's something that came to me, and I just didn't question it. And now I look at it, I'm still amazed that it came to me. But I look at it when I knew y'all were talking about the bully thing, and we got it right there. And to be able to deal with a bully is just living by those 3 principles. If you're honest, and if you're open-minded, and if you treat people like you want to be treated, I guarantee you take the baddest person, you take a killer, and you'll make them like you. I guarantee you. And that comes from the street, and that comes from the roughest neighborhood that you can possibly imagine. Question, or is that it? Okay. All right, well, thank you.